out when you with your friends, dog. You be showing out when you with your mans, dog. You don't let me catch them on my ends, dog. It's 1,000 ways to misunderstand, dog. It's 1,000 ways that we can make amends, dog. And you know you only love you when your pants off. I showed you life, I showed you grown man talk. Age differences between the sun and ledge, dog. I'm coming home, why you always on the edge, dog?
All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. It's 8:30 a.m. U.S. markets are just opening up right now. I wanted to do a market update. So obviously, BTC has broken out of its resistance point right here around 17 and a half, popped up all the way to 19K. And now we're facing a bit of a struggle here, right? This is really the area of struggle. And, it's going to take a little bit to break this area. I think even if we squeeze up from here, it may be a bit of a trap. What I'm thinking now is the market has moved up for, almost a week, week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks in some assets in a pretty straight fashion, right? Like that to me is a pretty straight move. Now we need some decent pullbacks. Okay, the pullbacks need to give you opportunities to solidify support. So if we're going to leave this area behind and this area behind, the next area of support is probably somewhere around here, like let's just say 18K, maybe as deep as 17 and a half. And then after that, we can test back up to 19 and maybe as high as breaking outside this huge descending trend line that we've had since last year, in which case I would probably look at the next level to target to the upside around $21,000. Okay, that happens to meet this sort of ascending support right here, which would be turned into resistance maybe sometime in February. It could be faster, by the way. Like this is not showing you time, it's just simply showing you price. It could be like this and like this. So maybe by next week, we might be already at 21K. But I'm just giving you guys an idea, like that's the kind of pullback that you want to get. You want to build a support here because the support, does two things, right? So the support will, first of all, turn this movement into a defined area of buyers who are willing to defend price. And then also it will give us low, higher low with high, higher high, and higher high. So now you have a defined uptrend in the market, right? Thus far, over the past almost like 6 months or so, you pretty much had a defined downtrend, which was, that's your high. I don't know, maybe this is your low, lower high, lower low, another lower high, another lower low, right? So that was your clear defined downtrend over the last 5 to 6 months. And even before that, right, obviously we had this now almost like a 13, 14 month downtrend starting from November 2021. So locally, if this thing starts shifting where we see a defined uptrend with a pullback possibility, then that could be a possibility of getting long in the market on a very, very nice defined pullback. Okay. Same thing with other assets, right? Like if you look at ETH has made a pretty tremendous movement in the market. Okay. Same thing with ETH. And by the way, ETH has a better structure than BTC because ETH did not break the June lows. This is the June lows in BTC, which were broken, right? But ETH did not. So this is your low on ETH. This is a almost a four month time span between this low in June, July, and then this low here in November, right? 4 or 5 months. And then you have locally like November, mid-November, equal lows right here in end of November and December, and then higher low, right? So now for sure, like, okay, Ethereum has a much stronger structure going for it in its local uptrend. And now what you got to do is this uptrend that you have, similar to BTC, see if you can get a pullback. If you could get a pullback around 1350, maybe as deep as somewhere around here, like 1300, that could be an opportunity. And this thing would probably, I would say, trade up to 1650, which is this area right here that we left behind in September and November. Okay, so the pullback would effectively be kind of like from here to here with a stop, somewhere down here, like 6% stop for a 25% gain. Okay, because right now, to me, it doesn't make sense to get long in the market. Okay, like you might, see the market push up a little bit higher, but I mean, technically, the signs are there, like we're at an exhaustion point in the market. Look at this, descending trend line resistance structure too, right? So all in all, that's what I see in the market right now, is we've come to critical points of resistance in BTC, in Ethereum. You could look at, even something like Solana, which has come pretty darn close to this point of resistance from that November drop on FTX, right? Matic, same thing. We're coming up to this area of resistance, 95 cents on Matic. Atom, same thing. We're coming to this point of resistance. Personally, I thought Atom would squeeze up higher towards the high of this channel, and I think it still can, by the way. Okay, Atom can actually squeeze up as BTC and Ethereum consolidate, and that could be another 15% pop in Atom around $13.50 to $14, just in case we do hit the top of this channel right here. Okay, so just letting y'all know. All right, so now just want to move on to cover a couple of the trades that we took on. What is it, like 7-8 days ago, I had taken this coin trade, so Coinbase, right? And it was trading around $38 or so. And after that, obviously it had a pullback, but then it took off, and we're up 20% in this trade. And so this morning and last night, or rather yesterday afternoon, I closed out of this trade, 19% profit in my stock account, or 20% profit, like on average, right? This morning, I closed out the rest of my position as the market opened. So, all in all, I'm pretty happy with this trade. The other trades, that I put out are also doing pretty darn well. Now, I already talked about AVAX, right? I'd filled AVAX in a nice position, right? I put like 10 or 12K worth or something in AVAX. This was, again, a spot position. And, I kind of got this wrong in a sense, because in this area, like when AVAX was struggling, I just became paranoid. And when that AVAX Amazon partnership came up, right, like this thing right here, I honestly did not give it as much credence as I should have. So I closed out like somewhere around here before it actually broke out. And that really annoyed me, because I basically locked in maybe like 2%. I think it was closer to like 2% by the time I got out. Versus, taking the trade where I got in to where it is now, like, 20%, 22% gain. So I pretty much missed out on a majority of that move. And, that kind of sucks. But so far, the good thing is, like, as the year has started, I've not taken on trades where I've had to give back up profits or close out in a loss and stuff. So that's good, right? We are locking in profits, whether it's the coin trade that I just showed you, whether it's AVAX, and now finally Fetch, which I had taken on again as a trade around 18.8. Fetch was our AI play, right? And you could see, where do we get in? Somewhere around here, right? Fetch is trading around like 23.8. So we're up about 29% or so, right? In this trade. So this morning I closed out of 75% of my Fetch trade, around like a 22, 23% profit. I have 25% remaining of that position. We'll see if we can just leave that going up to this weekly R5 pivot up here around 34 cents. You can also kind of look at the pivot as this marker right here. This is a weekly pivot, by the way, that's around 26 cents. So like if you want to get out at that point, that's also a decent area to get out, because again, we're coming into Friday. It's about to be the weekend, you know, like I don't really like hanging on to positions headed into the weekend, because historically, especially the last 2022 year, it sucked. It has not given me any benefit to hang on to trades into the weekend, because it's a whole lot of chop and volatility and crap I just like don't want to deal with. So pay attention to this 26 cent area, and then up here around 30. 30 is like I think a decent area too. Just, you know, a bold magnetic like level for fetch, right? So again, Advantage members, this was something that made me feel good, because I missed out on a majority of the gains on AVAX, even though like I said, I got out and barely like 2% profit or whatever. Fetch is now giving me upwards of almost 30-ish% profit. So I'm pretty happy about that. And you know, now I'm willing to sort of close out this trade as we head into the Friday. I want to enjoy my weekend. I don't want to deal with this shit headed into the weekend. I don't care what happens with the markets. I just want to get out, right? I want to take my profit, because everywhere you look, right, like markets are extended. Okay, so Coinbase from the lows is up like 40%. Okay, that's again in a bear market. Like those are typical bear market squeezes. S&P 500 closed out this gap pretty much, right? It's also extended from the lows, a little bit too extremely, right? Tesla, again, off the lows, it's up about like 20-30%. Apple, again, from the lows to the high right now, it's up about, maybe 10% or something. Let me see what's the low to now. Okay, it was up almost 8.5%, and now it's up almost 6.5%, right? So all in all, like as markets are coming into resistance, you don't want to start gambling with your profits. Like there's just no need for it. Matic may have, like we mentioned earlier, Matic may have another, couple of pennies above it, but you're getting pretty close to being uncomfortably close to resistance. Solana, same thing. Maybe it gets to 18, but like most of the move is done, right? Most of the move is done. AVAX, same thing. It's squeezed up. The partnership news is behind us now, right? Fetch this morning, I closed out because they're now offering futures contracts on Fetch. Like usually, in my experience, whenever this happens, that's pretty close to the top, or at least like a local top where prices are about to sell off for a little while. Right? So that makes me feel uncomfortable too, on something regarding Fetch. So anyway, all in all, that's kind of where we are. All right. My thought process is, I believe the market is extended. I believe we're hitting resistance. Yeah, we may push up a little bit more, but it's uncomfortably close to where we've mapped out resistance across the board, to overextensions across the board. So now you just got to wait patiently for pullbacks. And the pullbacks will show you one of two things, right? Either it'll be a pullback saying, hey guys, we're ready to pull back and then push up for another leg. Or, and again, it's possible that that was it for this squeeze up, and AVAX and ETH and everything else is about to go back to lows from the beginning of the year or last year and then head lower. Again, I'm not trying to be a perma bear about it. It's just, it's not impossible to think that thought, right? Yes, the market has been beat up for the last year. Yes, it's been a very bearish environment, and everybody's bearish, and people are too negative and this and that. But that's not a reason for the markets to go up. That's not an excuse that you can make for the markets to go up, because the markets might still see too much risk on the horizon. So anything like that can happen. All right. So anyway, I just wanted to let y'all know, those are my thoughts in terms of the process on the market. here's Fetch taking off, right? Doing really, really well, kicking ass, doing his thing. So sooner or later, we want to, at least I want to close out of this trade. All right, you guys do whatever you want to do. Again, non-investment advice. All this stuff will be updated for Advantage members in these channels. Okay. Anyway, good luck, everybody. You'll take care. Cheers, and we'll talk soon.